Hey, how's it going? My name is Riley, and I'm a documentary filmmaker that likes talking about everything from filmmaking and creativity to faith. In today's video, we're going to be doing a walkthrough on how to set up the Sony a7S III with the DJI RS2 and the RSC2. Specifically, we're going to take a look at how to set up the control wheel here on the front of the gimbal to be able to change and control the aperture, ISO, and even pull focus on the a7S III straight from the gimbal. Just note though, I own the RSC2. However, all of these steps and compatibility should be the same. So whether you have the RS2 or the RSC2, these steps should be the same for getting your camera and gimbal set up to use the front wheel. All right, let's dive in. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is open up your menu, and you're actually going to come down to the network option. I was a little surprised to find this out, but this is actually where the majority of the settings are going to be. Come over to network, go to transfer/remote, and then go to control with smartphone. And you're going to want to make sure that this is turned off. And then you're going to come down to the PC remote function. And you're going to want to turn this PC remote function on. And then make sure that the second option is USB. If you want to pull focus on the front dial of the gimbal, you'll want to come over to the autofocus/manual focus and make sure that the camera is set in manual focus. All right, with the camera setup out of the way, we're gonna move on to getting the gimbal set up and plugging that in to get it going. But before we do that, I wanna make a quick note about the different cables that DJI sends you with. There's two of them specifically that are compatible with the a7S III, and this is where a lot of the confusion comes in. The first cable, and the one that you would think that makes the most sense, is the Sony multi-port cable. Now, this cable will work if you want to start and stop the camera, but that's about it. Now, the good thing about this cable is that it does give you access to the full IBIS system of the camera, as well as recording externally through the HDMI. You don't have access to any of the other features that we're talking about. So ISO, changing the aperture, pulling focus, none of those work on the Sony cable. However, the USB-C to USB-C cable does give you access to all of those features. With this cable plugged in and the settings that we just did, you are going to have access to aperture, ISO, be able to pull focus. However, the downsides are that external recording is limited and the in-body image stabilization, specifically the sensor side of the IBIS system, is going to be disabled. The lens stabilization is still going to work, but you're not going to have access to external recording or some of the IBIS features. So it's just a couple of things to keep in mind as we're going here. So once you get the USB-C cable plugged into the gimbal and camera, you will power on the gimbal. Once the camera is powered on, you will come over to the menu button on the side and select that to enter the menu. And then scroll over to the front dial option and select this to enter the front dial control. From here, you can select which function you want to assign the front dial to. So ISO, aperture, or focus/zoom. This one, if you select this one, it will control the focus pulling with the USB-C cable. If you have the normal Sony cable plugged in, it will control the zoom if your lens allows it, or you can assign this to be clear image zoom. Once you have the function that you want selected, you can come back out here and then select the speed or sensitivity that you want the front dial to respond to. Personally, I would leave this somewhere between 10 and 20 because the front dial does tend to be pretty sensitive. And once you have that selected, you are good to go. All right, guys, well, that is going to do it for this one. I hope you found this video helpful. I know that for me, getting this figured out made it feel like I had a brand new gimbal with access to those features. So if you found this video useful, I would love it if you would hit the like button below, as well as consider subscribing. It really is the best way to help me support this channel. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.